As a figure collector, we constantly deal with three major factors. First, you need enough money. Second, you need enough space. But there's a third thing that is just as important: patience. You have to pre-order the figures you want just to pay the normal MSRP. If you don't, you'll end up paying double or triple on the secondary market. Figures are expensive enough as it is, so you really don't want to miss that window. I have two very beautiful and massive figures made by Freeing, which are Anis and Marian. I love those figures to bits, I really do. But I have decided to sell those figures. Those have different reasons. One of those reasons is that there are a lot of 1/4 scale figures coming my way. One is now in my private warehouse, which is the Red Hood Nonsense dress. That's also a 1/4 scale figure made by Good Smile Company, if I remember correctly. I also pre-ordered a Scarlet, and I also pre-ordered a Siren. And those are very, very big and expensive figures. And they are a lot more detailed than these two. And even though I really love these figures, I would rather spend the money that I get from selling these to buy those. Of course, I've already bought my Nonsense dress, but I also have to ship that figure here. And that's going to cost me around 200 euros maybe to get her here. And I have other figures as well, other 1/7 scale figures. So selling these two figures can give me 5 or 6 other figures, which is insane, right? So yeah, money is factor number one. And space is also a factor, of course, because if I have more 1/4 scale figures, where am I going to put it? I have enough space here, of course. I can move things around, but I can't keep doing that. And I want to have a spot for my NIKKE collection, and for my Dragon Ball collection, and for my Gundam collection. And I don't want to keep changing everything up, you know? So yeah, space is a factor. And you know, I think I have also changed a bit in my taste, because even though I really love these figures, looking at the other figures that I have or the figures that are coming, I think these look a little bit too flat, in my opinion, compared to those. So yeah, there are some factors that made me decide to sell these figures. And it's really hard. It's not as easy as it may sound. You know, I've been thinking a lot about this, but this is the final decision that I came up with. I think many of you can relate to this situation. You know, you love a show or a game, merch come out, figures come out, model kits come out, and they keep coming and coming and coming. And you don't have the budget, you don't have the space. If you're a model kit builder, then you probably have a very big backlog. But that's FOMO, man. It's FOMO. And FOMO is dangerous. And it should not take over your life. You know, you have to make decisions. Sometimes you just need to not buy something or not pre-order something. Or you need to sell something to be able to buy that one thing that you really love. You know, I used to have a very big backlog of my model kits, but now my backlog isn't that big anymore. Simply because I have sold a lot of those that I simply am not going to build anyway, at least not for the coming year, I'm sure of it. And same goes for my figure collection. There are some figures that when I look at them, I'm like, do I really want this figure? The thing is, when I consider selling those figures, it starts to ache in my heart, you know, because it's part of my collection, part of my hobby, part of my passion, you know. So yeah, considering to sell something stings. But I will get something better in the end. And I just hope I will not regret my decisions. And maybe I will, but then other things that come in their place will make me feel better, you know? And sometimes selling stuff will also make me feel good, because sometimes something in my collection feels like a burden, you know? Do you recognize that? Maybe it's just me, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. So yeah, that's the life of a figure collector. And if you can relate, let me know in the comments below and tell me your struggles. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.